What if I told you there was an ancient king who had over 1,000 wives and concubines, and historians have been hiding the shocking truth about his intimate life for centuries? Today, we're uncovering secrets so scandalous that textbooks refuse to teach them. But before we dive into this forbidden history, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because honestly, YouTube doesn't always show our videos to subscribers. The king we're talking about is King Solomon, mentioned in the Bible, Quran, and countless historical texts. But here's what they don't tell you. According to ancient records, Solomon didn't just have 700 wives and 300 concubines for political reasons. Recent archaeological discoveries and translated texts reveal a complex system of royal intimacy that would shock modern audiences. The Bible mentions Solomon's wives in 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 3, but it barely scratches the surface. Ancient Babylonian and Egyptian records, recently translated, describe elaborate palace protocols for managing such a massive royal household. These weren't just political marriages, they were part of a sophisticated ancient system of power, diplomacy, and, yes, intimate relationships that historians have sanitized for centuries. But why did historians hide these details? The answer lies in how different cultures viewed royal sexuality and power dynamics in ancient times versus today. Here's the shocking truth historians don't want you to know. These royal marriages were anything but random. They were carefully orchestrated strategic moves on a grand chessboard of power, influence, and survival. Each wife represented a different nation, tribe, or political alliance. These unions were designed to secure peace, expand influence, and create powerful networks that stretched across continents. Ancient texts reveal that Solomon's palace was a marvel of organization, with dedicated quarters for each wife, intricate rotation systems, and elaborate ceremonies that governed every aspect of these relationships. These weren't just personal unions, they were state affairs, managed with precision. Recent discoveries at archaeological sites in Jerusalem have uncovered palace layouts featuring hundreds of private chambers, advanced water systems, and luxury amenities. This evidence suggests these marriages were far more than symbolic. They were central to the kingdom's daily operations and political strategy. Ancient Egyptian texts describe similar practices among pharaohs, where royal marriages cemented alliances. Yet Solomon's system was unprecedented in both scale and complexity, setting him apart from his contemporaries. And if you think that's shocking, just wait. Archaeological evidence is now revealing fascinating details about the daily life, routines, and even the rivalries that played out within Solomon's palace walls. But before we dive deeper, let me know in the comments. Did you know about Solomon's 1,000 wives before watching this video? Or is this a total surprise? Sumerian tablets discovered in the 20th century describe how trade negotiations often included royal marriages as part of diplomatic packages, showing this was a widespread practice in the ancient world. A single marriage could secure vital trade routes, guarantee military alliances, and open doors to cultural exchanges that shaped the course of history. But Solomon took this to an extreme level that even other ancient civilizations found astonishing. His approach to royal marriages became legendary, leaving a legacy that still fascinates historians today. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The Palace of Solomon wasn't just a home, it was a living, breathing organism, a microcosm of the ancient world's complexity. Ancient administrative records discovered in ruins near Jerusalem describe the logistics of managing Solomon's household. These tablets reveal a world of meticulous planning, where every detail was recorded and accounted for. We're talking about a system that required a dedicated staff of hundreds of servants and administrators, each with specialized roles, some overseeing food, others managing living quarters, and still others handling ceremonial duties. There were rotation schedules that ensured attention to different wives, with shifts so precise that no one was overlooked and every need was anticipated. Separate kitchens prepared food according to different cultural traditions, reflecting the diverse backgrounds of the royal household. Imagine the aromas and flavors from across continents, all under one roof, and elaborate gift-giving systems to maintain harmony, with gifts exchanged not just for celebration, but as a form of diplomacy and alliance building. There were even security protocols that rivaled modern government operations, with guards, coded messages, and strict access controls to sensitive areas. But here's the part that will blow your mind. Archaeological evidence suggests that many of these wives held significant political power, influencing decisions at the highest level. Unlike the sanitized version taught in schools, these women weren't just ornamental. They were advisors, negotiators, and sometimes even power brokers in their own right. Ancient letters found in Egyptian archives show correspondence between Solomon's wives and their home kingdoms, indicating active diplomatic roles. These women maintained ties with their homelands, shaping foreign policy from within the palace walls. The Babylonian Chronicle, discovered in the British Museum's archives, mentions visiting dignitaries being amazed by the sophistication of Solomon's palace management, marveling at its organization and scale. They describe it as more complex than running a small city-state, with layers of bureaucracy and protocol that set new standards for the ancient world. And this is just the beginning. The deeper we look, the more we realize how advanced and interconnected this palace system truly was. Recent DNA analysis of remains found near ancient Jerusalem has revealed bloodline connections that confirm the international scope of Solomon's marriages, linking families and dynasties across continents. Connecting him to royalty from Africa to Asia, Solomon's palace was not just a seat of power, but a hub of global influence and cultural exchange. So why have historians sanitized this story for centuries? What motivated them to leave out so many crucial details, and how did these omissions shape our understanding of the past? Well, the answer reveals some pretty uncomfortable truths about how different cultures viewed relationships, power, and, sexuality. These are topics that have always made people uneasy, especially when they challenge the values of the time. Victorian-era historians who translated and interpreted many ancient texts deliberately omitted or minimized details about royal intimate lives. They were gatekeepers of knowledge, and their personal biases played a huge role in what was preserved. They believed these details were just inappropriate for public education and religious instruction. Anything that didn't fit their moral standards was simply erased or glossed over, as if it never existed. But honestly, they also fundamentally misunderstood the political and social dynamics of ancient Middle Eastern kingdoms. Their interpretations were colored by their own cultural assumptions, leading to a distorted view of history. Modern historians have been kind of reluctant to correct this whitewashing because it challenges religious narratives and, let's face it, requires acknowledging that ancient civilizations had complex relationship structures that really don't fit our modern categories. Admitting these truths means re-examining long-held beliefs and confronting uncomfortable realities. Recent archaeological discoveries have forced a rethinking of Solomon's reign. These findings are rewriting what we thought we knew, and historians can no longer ignore the evidence. Excavations have revealed palace complexes larger than previously estimated, suggesting a level of wealth and organization that was once thought impossible for the era. International artifacts suggest that royal wives maintained strong cultural connections to their home countries, bringing their own traditions and influences into the palace. And administrative systems more sophisticated than many modern governments, with records showing intricate networks of trade, taxation, and diplomacy. There's even evidence of advanced logistics and resource management, hinting at a society far more complex than we ever imagined. But perhaps most shocking is what these discoveries reveal about women's roles in ancient royal courts. Women who held real power, influence, and agency. Yet these roles were systematically erased from historical records, leaving us with only fragments of the truth and a reminder of how much history is shaped by those who write it. Solomon's story isn't unique. Similar patterns existed among ancient Egyptian pharaohs who maintained hundreds of wives, Chinese emperors with elaborate imperial harem systems, Indian maharajas with complex marital alliances, and Persian kings with international marriage networks. What makes Solomon's case special is the detailed records that survived and the sheer scale of international connections. But historians have treated these as exceptional cases, rather than understanding them as sophisticated political and social systems. Understanding these historical truths really changes how we view ancient diplomatic systems, women's roles in historical politics, the complexity of pre-modern civilizations, and how power structures actually functioned in ancient kingdoms. The implications are, honestly, staggering when you realize that our entire understanding of ancient history has been filtered through cultural biases that prevented us from seeing these civilizations' true sophistication. But here's the ultimate secret historians have hidden. Solomon's system worked. His kingdom experienced unprecedented prosperity, international trade, and cultural exchange. The Temple of Solomon, one of the ancient world's marvels, was built using resources and knowledge acquired through these international marriage alliances. Recent economic analysis of archaeological evidence suggests that Solomon's marriage network actually created the ancient world's most sophisticated trade system, connecting Africa, Asia, and the Mediterranean in ways that just wouldn't be seen again for centuries. The truth is that historians haven't just hidden intimate details, they've hidden evidence of one of history's most successful international diplomatic systems, run partly through royal marriages that created lasting peace and prosperity. So there you have it, the shocking truth about King Solomon that historians have hidden for centuries. This wasn't just about having many wives, it was about creating an ancient superpower through sophisticated diplomatic and administrative systems. If this video opened your eyes to hidden historical truths, make sure to subscribe for more forbidden history that textbooks won't teach you. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest discoveries. Let me know in the comments. What other historical figures do you think have hidden stories that need to be revealed? And hey, don't forget to share this video with anyone who loves discovering the truth behind sanitized history.